Okay, I think we can get started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonas Lindström. I'm the Managing Director here at the Swedish Brazilian Chamber of Commerce. Happy to open this Young Professionals meeting this afternoon. The idea was not to stream it. We haven't told anyone that we were going to do that, but it's the new normal, right? Some people have said, I would like to see this presentation. I have a class tonight, I have a meeting, I leave far. Is there any chance to see it later? We have said, no, you have to come to the gym. But finally we were convinced, let's do it. We're recording the event actually. So those of you who are now watching on our YouTube channel, also welcome, okay? You will miss a great happy hour here with cold beer and snacks. So we hope to see you here next time for the coming events. So the event tonight is about talent attraction and retention at two companies, Atlas Copco and Ericsson, two members of the chamber, and the speakers. Susana will start. Susana Wojcik, right? Which is who is an HR manager at Atlas Copco. And after her is Isabela Gottzandt, who is head of project planning at Ericsson. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. Very curious to hear your messages this afternoon. And this is actually the first event for young professionals this semester. And we have Miranda Okello here, who is our new intern from Sweden. So she will be with us for a year, and she's planning more events. And the target group is young professionals, people just starting their careers. Okay. So also those of you who are watching, send suggestions to Miranda on speakers and topics. Okay, and we will arrange more events for all of you. So let's get started, please, Susana.
Thank you. Better, right? Or over there?
I think over there is better.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. I am Susana. I work at Atlas Copco, Brazil. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I would like to start by introducing myself. I am 39 years old. I am married. I am Julia and Joey's mom, as you can see in the picture. Julia is 2 years old and Joey is 3 years old. This is my puppy. I am Brazilian and American, so I have a dual citizenship. I was born in the Midwest of Brazil. I don't know if you are familiar with our geography, but this is in the jungle side of Brazil. I love wine, meditation, yoga, and travel. Here's a picture of me in your home country, Sweden. This is where I went through Atlas Copco. Yes. Yes. I don't remember the name of the museum, but yes. It's in Stockholm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have a psychology major from Western Connecticut State University. I also have a postgraduate degree in human resources from Cornell. I've been working in multinational industrial companies for 16 years. And I've been at Atlas Copco Brazil for 8 years. I started as an HR analyst, then I got promoted to coordinator, manager to one division of Atlas Copco in Brazil, and most recently, last year, I was promoted to HR manager in the region of Latin America in a corporate position. Here is my dream team. Some of them are here today. Beatriz, where's Leandra? Leandra. Luana is studying at night. She couldn't be here today. And this is the team that supports me with the Latin America HR activities. And I also have focused for Brazil, one coordinator with 8 analysts. Moving on. I'd like to start our chat today by checking the mood. So if you could please take out your cell phone and using this code in a cat scale from 1 to 6, I would like to check how the mood is today. So every time you see a rocking medium, it means we're going to be interacting a little bit. If it asks, this is the code. I don't know if there are any cat fans here or Minion fans, but let's see how the mood is. All right, a lot of happy people. That's good to hear. Excited. Okay. No one's angry, sad. That's good. I'm glad. That's a good news. Relax and then okay. We have somebody who's asleep, Jonas. Okay. Okay.
More coffee. More coffee.
Yes, more coffee. More coffee. Great. So going back, Emma, please. All right, now that we have checked in, I will show you a little bit of our company. So here's the video so you can get to meet Atlas Copco.
Atlas Copco is the home of industrial ideas, and our innovations are used every day, everywhere. So, how does it all happen? The home of industrial ideas rests on 5 strategic pillars: people, innovation, presence, operational excellence, and service. First and foremost, it's about our passionate people. Great ideas come from talented and empowered teams. So we train and encourage our people to always look for the best solution. And then trust them to make it happen. This is how we use innovation and continue to develop industry-leading solutions. Take our compressors, for example. Besides producing the air needed to power the strain, they can be remotely controlled to secure optimal performance at all times. And our vacuum equipment creates the absolute clean environments needed to make everything from mobile phones to the finest pasta. Our presence helps us stay close to our customers and work together with them to support their success. By understanding and analyzing their challenges, we develop industrial solutions that fit their needs today and tomorrow, like these smart assembly tools, for example. Operational excellence is important to us. We want to do business in a sustainable way and challenge ourselves to always find the best solution. This includes energy-efficient processes and renewable power sources. It's about creating lasting value, like our mobile equipment that combines electric power with great ergonomics for the benefit of our customers and the environment. Last, but certainly not least, we offer our customers peace of mind. Our skilled service people help our customers run their business in the most efficient and safe way, and to stay up and running no matter what. All of this combined makes us the home of industrial ideas. We innovate with the future in mind and empower our customers to drive society forward. This way, we are part of the solution for a better tomorrow.
Okay, so this is our company in numbers now. We have customers in more than 180 countries, 43,000 employees around 70 countries. We were established in 1873 in Stockholm, Sweden. Our turnover is 11 billion euro and our operating margin is 22.2. I also brought some numbers from Brazil. So here we have been since 1955. We count with around 1,500 employees in the country, of which 25% are women. We have a global goal of reaching 30% of women in our operations by 2030. So this is a very important number to us and our efforts to keep on growing this number. Moving on, this is our purpose. We talk a lot about purpose in our company. Our purpose is our industrial ideas empower our customers to grow and drive society forward. So this is how we create a better tomorrow. And we do this by means of bringing innovation to our customers. So we innovate, we try to innovate in every single way possible. We interact with our customers and among ourselves in the company. So people interaction is a very strong commitment for us. And we are committed to our customers and to our values. So this is how we bring a better tomorrow. And since we're talking about purpose, I'd like to share a little bit of my personal story here. This is me when I was about, I don't know, 10 years old maybe. We didn't have smartphones back then, okay? But I wanted to share a little bit my purpose. My purpose in life is to serve people. So every since I was born, I just loved people. So from a very young age, I knew that I wanted to work with people and I wanted to just make people's lives better. So when I was young, I was the class president. I don't know how it is in Sweden, but here in Brazil, we have some grêmios estudantis, and I was the president of mine. And from a very young age on, I already planned events of bringing people together. Another curiosity about me and my purpose of serving people. Hello, welcome. I love volunteer work. This is me volunteering with children. We bring education to them, moral education, spiritual education, and I've been doing this project for 12 years. So that's something that really drives me, and it's like my purpose in life to be around people. Next, I wanted to show how this purpose that I have in life, that I've been always having it, is related to our purpose at the company. Because when we talk about Atlas Copco having a purpose, it's really important for us to connect our personal purpose to the company's purpose. So in my case, I get the chance, I have the pleasure of bringing people together. For example, in this photo is sales meeting. So we brought together about 80 salespeople from around Brazil together, mostly men. I don't know if you can see, but they are here together meditating. We had a whole week planned with them. They hated it at first because they said, meditation, yoga, what is that? But at the end of the week, they were so happy with the event and getting connected to this other side of themselves that they never knew it was possible. By breathing, you could bring better results to the company. What's that? So this is about 80 people closing their eyes and breathing together, meditating together to bring results to the company. And last, there it is. One of my personal favorites, the women's rights. So we do have at Atlas Copco a very important focus on diversity and inclusion. And not only for gender diversity, but all types of minorities, all types of diversities. And one of my personal favorites, and it's also Atlas Copco's focus in the group, is to bring more women to the organization and to make the current environment more inclusive to women, where women can feel they belong, and where men can also feel that the women there belong. So it's so nice to share with you that during my career in Atlas Copco Brazil, I left on maternity leave during the pandemic, and I got promoted during the maternity leave. So it's so nice to be sharing with other women, with other men who will be fathers, who will be leaders someday, that this is possible. This goes against many companies in Brazil. We hear in the news, we see in the media that women are getting fired during the maternity leave. Women are returning to work after maternity leave and they are getting fired. So this really is my purpose in life, to work with women, to serve women. And it's so nice to be sharing with you a personal story of something that we were able to make that really goes against that biased world that we live in. And now, there you go. We have the dancing minion again. It's time for us to interact. I've shared with you Atlas Copco's purpose. I've shared with you a little bit of my secrets, my purpose in life. I would like to ask you to participate in this exercise. We would like to see what is your purpose or purposes. If you don't have only one, if you have many, please take out your cell phones and share with us. And we're missing a rock and roll song, right? There we go. Let's see, warming up. Not an easy question, maybe. Lots of reflections today. Oh, look at that. Make life easier, to have fun, to experience, help people. We want to bring you to HR. Who's this? Please send me your CV later. Oh, look, help people. So more. Let's see. Empathy. That's great. Learn. Kindness. Help. So we see a pattern here. Teach. That's good. Make people happy. Mm-hmm. Happiness. To experience. Make life easier. Create. Very good. Very good. It's interesting. Anything else? No? Should we back? All right. So here I'd like to share a little bit of the way Atlas Copco attracts and engages our people. We have this mission that Atlas Copco will be the most attractive industrial company in our segments and target markets. And how do we do that with our people? By focusing on 4 pillars. We focus on culture. Who is Swedish here? I think it's easier to understand Swedish culture. If we're hiring Brazilians, it's a little bit harder to learn. And when you look at Atlas Copco globally, it gets even trickier, right? Because we are all over. We talk about learning organization. We talk about talent acquisition and pipeline. And our leaders, preparing our leaders to be future-proof. And how do we do that? With digitalization as an enabler, supporting all of this. And here we brought some examples. It's a little bit small, but I don't mean to go over all of them, but especially to who was born in Sweden and is very much familiarized with the culture, but this is how our culture is perceived here in Brazil. We are a matrix company, we are decentralized. That means that we give a lot of freedom to our people with the responsibility. I don't know if you can relate to that. The decisions are all taken in a collegiate form, so everyone in the room has a chance to be heard. So people really get a chance to have their voices heard. And a strong part of our culture is also to focus on the diversity. So we have created a diverse and inclusion committee in Latin America. It's called Belong, Pertencer in Portuguese. And this committee gets together periodically and promotes lectures, policies, roundtables, some programs specific to women, so women can get to know the operations and maybe take a step into the positions that are mainly dominated by men. And all of these have given us the opportunity to win the Swedish Chamber Award for Gender Diversity. So we are so proud of that. Regarding learning, here we want to have in our employees a lifelong learning culture. We offer to them one-stop shop tools for learning. So we offer LinkedIn learning. We offer free English classes to everybody in Atlas Copco. We have some platforms where people can keep track of their learning. So here is to stimulate people to go after new things and to really explore being this never stop learning individual. And on that, we have festivals every year around learning. So we stop the operations 1 month of the year. Everybody around the world is talking about learning opportunities. This is how much learning means to us. Talking about talent acquisition and pipeline, we have our employer branding plans. So here we are focusing on how to bring the Atlas Copco brand to our future employees and to our current employees. We were certified by GPTW. This is a great place to work. It's a certification that really puts us in the ranks of the best companies to work in Brazil. And we got the award of being in the top 15 companies in Barueri, São Paulo, is where the company is located. And here are some of our benefits. We have the hybrid home office policy, working from home policy. We have a corporate mental health program. People can take a day off in the month of their birthday. We have gym pass. We have the employee recreational program. So this is just a taste of what we have. It's not the complete list. And for our leaders, we have mentoring activities. We have trainings with some external partners. We have internal trainings, and we also provide coaching. So really, this is a summary of how we do attraction and retention of talents in our company. Moving on to career. All of our vacancies are opened internally first in our internal job market. So every time we need to hire somebody new, we always look inside first. That means that 84% of our leaders are recruited internally. We really give the opportunity internally. And everyone in the company builds their careers. They build it and they take on missions. The missions usually take from 3 to 5 years. So everybody is, after completing a mission, they should really look for something else. These are the skills we value in our company, such as curiosity, having an active growth mindset, liking change, being resilient, being innovative, being communicative with people. So these are some of the skills we look for. We have international assignments. This is a big thing. Today we have around 150 employees, Brazilian employees abroad. So Brazil is a big exporter of talents in our company. We don't work with career plans. So when people join Atlas Copco, they don't receive a written path that they should follow. No, each employee will develop with the tools they would like to go, with the paths they would like to take in their career. The company is there to support them through the HR activities, the policies, the procedures, through leadership, but we are there to inspire people to take on their own career. And we offer, of course, the competitors' salaries and benefits according to the Brazilian market, and we use the Mercer consultancy to guarantee that. This is a little bit about career, and I'd like to show another video. You've been listening a lot to Susana as HR manager. Should we try the audio, Viviane? Okay. And in this video, you'll be able to hear from our people. Let's see if the sound will help us.
A new day rises. New ideas are forming. This is where it all starts. There is always a better way.
We come from many different places. With open minds, we can change things for the better. It's about capturing our customers' needs and looking beyond the way things are.
Combining their expertise and ours to accelerate innovation.
It's about sustainable processes, analyzing data, leading the transformation. It's about working together, sharing knowledge, and having fun.
We protect the planet, its cities, its oceans, the air surrounding it. It happens through industrial ideas.
Ideas that innovate industrial processes and makes everyday lives a little bit better.
Ideas that engineer dreams and bring innovation.
We will always stay curious. And we will always embrace change.
Ideas are the source of all things, and we're here to make them happen.
Atlas Copco, home of industrial ideas.
Okay. So we did a check-in on our mood. We will do a checkout now. We don't have the dancing menu anymore. You don't have to answer it. I would just like to invite you to reflect upon it. How's the mood now? Is it changed? Is it the same? Is it better? Is it worse? Was the sleepy one already a little bit more awakened? So with this exercise, it's important for us to notice that, for example, in Atlas Copco, we expect results from our employees, but we also expect them to focus on their well-being. And we have a well-being framework in the group which focuses on physical health, mental health, purpose, and social connectedness. So really, the question I would like to end my presentation with today is, are you taking care of your most important asset, yourself? These are my contacts. It will be lovely to have a cup of tea, coffee, wine with you sometime in the future. This is my LinkedIn profile if you'd like to get in touch, and my contacts are here. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you, Susana. Thank you very much. Isabela is preparing the presentation now. And then the idea is to have the Q&A with them together, right? So the questions we will save until very soon. Please, Isabela. Any questions while we wait, maybe? While she's connecting the computer. Any doubts, questions on Atlas Copco?
I'll just test the video to see if it's okay.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Isabela, and before starting the presentation, I will not go to the introduction of myself. I like it for the end, not for creating any kind of suspension here, but just to say, share with you the context of Ericsson as an enterprise, but also share with you a perspective of career. I believe this is an event target for young professionals. And let's say that I lived the two sides of the coin. Now I represent Ericsson as a line manager. I'm not from HR like Susana. I work in service delivery and I have a team of 24 people. And also I started in Ericsson in the young professional club. So while sharing both sides of the same coin, there are personal experiences, there are personal reflections. And what I like to do in the events like this is to share also a disclaimer that it's a experience that I lived, but it's one example. Nowadays in the market, there are many careers and many possibilities of having a successful life, successful jobs, and maybe I chose the standard one, working for a multinational company, but there are many possibilities of being an entrepreneur, of working with your family, or doing voluntary things. So this is like a picture of someone that has a path in a multinational company, but let's not do like comparisons of age or anything like that. So that's my invitation for you all. So take the idea here of possibilities that you can have in your path as young professionals. Okay. So talking about Ericsson, now we have rebranded the company and we are, I believe, the same age of Atlas Copco. So we are more than 100 years already in the market and more than 100 years in Brazil. And our brand now invites us to imagine possible. I'm not on the camera now, I am on the camera. Okay. To imagine possible. And our mission, and Susana talks about what of purpose, and our mission is to connect people and to give them possibility to imagine possible. So, like I said, the purpose create connections that make the unimaginable possible, and I will share a video with you about the company. And Ericsson as a company, we are in the telecommunications segment. And some of the pictures that you have seen in the video, they are part of the technology we provide for the world. So it's difficult sometimes to explain to the B2C what we do, so the business to consumer, because we are a B2B company. And in that case, in the video, you saw many applications, many possibilities that the technology that we have in Ericsson that we develop, they enable for the society. So when you see like a doctor looking for the brains of the patient, this is what we think in medicine and technology together. But then we are able, for example, to handle an operation using a doctor. And this was some kind of test that we did in Chile last year, having a doctor in a place and a patient in another, and you can do the operation. So the technology kind that we provide for the work is kind of invisible, but is there. Is there when you try to send a message of WhatsApp for your girlfriend or boyfriend, when you try to see a video in YouTube, and when you don't have your mobile data, it's where you get angry. I think everybody will choose the angry cat in your presentation. And it's there when you remember that maybe there is a technology that you are relying on to communicate with the world. So this is something of kind of special and that enables a lot of things. So our vision is that we have limitless connective to improve lives. So you saw schools, for example, in the video, where we go to remote areas and we provide connection for students. And in the pandemic, it was essential, let's say, to keep people connected, that we redefine business. So we try always to see if there is any other possibility of business that we have. For example, autonomous vehicle. Now it's something that some years ago was not a possibility, and today it's almost a reality, and it relies on a good connection. And we pioneer a sustainable future because our products and the industry of telecommunication use energy, and we have to develop in our portfolio products that are oriented to the future and sustainable. So talking about our values as a company and being a Swedish company, maybe I can feel some of the comments that Susana shared about our culture. So I will start with respect, because that's the idea that Susana shared, that everyone in the room has a voice, everyone is listening. That is true in Ericsson as a Swedish company everywhere we go. So this sometimes tends to people think that we are slow, but respect itself, it comes always first. If we are going to take 5 days to take a decision, we are going to take 5 days, but we are going to handle it with respect and with professionalism. Perseverance also to go to our targets, our main objectives, and never give up, trying to find a solution, and also integrity, because we want to have our business handled by people that we trust, that work with compliance with rules, procedures, and have the company's interests before theirs. So this is something that Ericsson maybe have heard in the news, but the company itself is a company that values integrity behaviors. So trying to explain in numbers, as Susana did, what we are. We have more than 100,000 employees, and we have R&D dedicated centers all around the world, including Brazil. And Brazil, you're going to see in the map, we are, let's say, kind of a different setup in this country because we have our factory and also R&D centers. So the operation of Ericsson in Brazil, comparing to other countries, we are really an important player as a country for the group. And in terms of financials, we have 42 billion SEK in R&D budget. So we are really investing in the future to create a new technology. While we are talking about launch of 5G, our scientists are already starting 6G. So they are always one step ahead. And this reflects in the number of patents that we have in the company and also in the number of sales. We have 232 billion SEK in sales in more than 180 countries. I think the same numbers of Atlas Copco in terms of presence in other countries. And if we see the map, what we have, as I told you, here in the columns, R&D and also manufacturing in Brazil. I always say that in Ericsson, if you study geography in school, maybe you have to change your mind because the maps and the way that we are grouped as a company are really different. So this is a setup that are really oriented to the customer, because in Europe we have some of our global operator, let's say groups like Telefonica, which is from Spain, like Telecom Italia, which is Ching in Brazil, are also based in Europe. So the operation in Brazil are connected with the operation in Europe. So I always in contact with Swedish people to discuss about ideas, discuss about projects, because these two continents are like the biggest one in Ericsson in terms of employees. So we have to find a way of working together, creative ways of working that are standard also for the company. So the exchange of ideas and process and also rules are always in here for the debate with Europe and also Brazilians. And I forgot to say that the operation of Brazil is connected with the operation in Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, and Peru. So among the 24 people in my team nowadays, they are split in the 5 countries. And talking a little bit about the technology itself. If there is a part of this graph that is not showing because here is only mobile data, but the history of telecommunications, if you reflect a little bit, we started by connecting the countries, the continents with the cables, and there are a lot of films. I don't know if you have seen Netflix, The Cable Girls. It's a series. It talks about it's in Spain, but it talks about the history of a group of girls, but they are starting to work in a telecommunications company. So it's cool because you get to see the evolution where they started, and you had like a cable girl that needed to receive your phone call to give the phone call to someone else. And when you go and see this graph, there was not a long time ago. We are talking about the 80s. So the mobile data, the first 1G, started in the 80s, only local voice calls. Then the technology 10 years later, we were already talking about 2G. So using SMS, talking with people. Today I don't believe that we use a lot of SMS, at least in Brazil because of the mobile data plans. But if you go to Europe, maybe people are still using SMS. But SMS was already in the 90s. Then we have the mobile broadband. There we start to connecting our phones, and it was starting to look like a computer in your hands, but you could not do a lot of things. But then 10 years later, 2010, you have the 4G that started the app economy where you have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and the need for data was increasing and increasing, and the need for also speed also increasing. So nowadays, 10 years, we are talking about 5G. Maybe consumers is something that is not, why, what's the difference, 4G to 5G? Is it the speed that I have, the connection? But the 5G, what we say, it's a platform for innovation. And when we say platform for innovation is to enable use cases, like I told you, the doctor, the schools. So the difference for the 5G will, us as users, we will feel it, but also the companies, the enterprise, government, society will see the difference of having this innovation platform. So looking in here, if you see, we have like 6 years for technology evolution. This is a short time. It's not a really long time. And we are now going for the 6G. Sorry, let me just come back. The 6G, where our R&D centers are already studying what we call the Internet of Senses. And talking about 5G, because 5G is in the news everywhere, especially in Brazil this year, because we had the auction in Brazil. So 5G was deployment from the mid of July, and are still being deployed. And we have in the world more than 100 5G networks already alive, 59 countries already with 5G, and also 9 million radios. Radios are the equipment that allows the connection of the network that are 5G ready. And these we did since 2015. Our radios, our products were already prepared to the technology. It's just like your mobile phone. You buy the mobile phone, but then you have the software that Apple or Android ask you to update like every 3 months. So our products, they were already prepared to receive the softwares of 5G. So 5G for us is something that's now a reality, but that we have been working for more than 5 years. Okay, so this is Ericsson. So create the unimaginable possible. And to do everything that I told you, that I shared with you today, we need people. We need young professionals. So I will play the second and last video to share with you what are the possibilities of careers in Ericsson. Someone that works for Ericsson has problems of connection is kind of a paradox. Try again. Yes.
Imagine a world where limitless connectivity means limitless possibility. Now, imagine being the one who develops the software that impacts the energy consumption of entire industries, or enabling IoT solutions that change the way we track our health, how we commute, or the way we work. Imagine being the one who unlocks a new level of connectivity and communication. Imagine a world where limitless connectivity means limitless possibility. Now, imagine being the one who develops the software that impacts the energy consumption of entire industries, or enabling IoT solutions that change the way we track our health, how we commute, or the way we work. Imagine being the one who unlocks a new level of connectivity and communication, enabling education, banking, and sustainable development where it hasn't been possible before. Just imagine, you can be a climate hero, you can be a change maker, you can be a force for good. Join our community, and you can be the one who makes it possible.
Okay. So, as in the video, there are many career paths that are possible in Ericsson. Things being a developer, working for R&D centers in manufacturing, being a salesperson. I always say that you can be anything you want to be in Ericsson. You always find a position that is open. So here's a little bit of the other side of the coin. That's my personal story. So I am 28 years old, Brazilian, and I studied industrial engineering here in Brazil, but I did a study program in France of industrial quality and reliability. And now I'm currently doing an MBA in finance and controllership here in Brazil. I started in Ericsson in 2018 as part of the Next Generation program as a trainee. This is one of the programs that are designed to attract talent. And this for me was a 1-year program. But we also have the internship program together with the Next Gen program, which can last up to 2 years. In this case, my program was designed to do job rotations. I had 4 job rotations in a single year, which was amazing to know more parts of the company. Maybe when you join and you are already in a position that is defined, you will understand the activities of your position. But when doing job rotations, you can see more a holistic view of what's going on in the company and why one area is asking for something and the other is asking for the completely opposite. And then I moved to a project manager position, so inside PMO, which is an area that is being the guardian of the execution of our project. So we sell for the customers and someone has to deliver it. And PMO is there to be the guardian of the costs, the time, and the quality of the projects that are being delivered. And this year I moved for the role of head of project planning, the first time that I have a team with me. And I'm the responsible of the planning of all the steps that we need to make to deliver to the customer and for you all to have your connection and mobile data available in your phones. So it's a challenge, but it's something that when you, as Susana said, help people, it's one of the duties of someone that's the leader of a team. And it's being also a learning journey for me. It's my first leadership position at the company. And something that I would like to say to you is that the big companies, they also have programs like diversity and inclusion pillars that we have, and engaging in this kind of programs are also very beneficial because you get the view of how the people that are working with you, they feel, what are the things that we can do for them. And I'm part of one of these groups that is called Ericsson on the Move. This is our cultural transformation program. This cultural transformation program relies on 5 pillars, and it's in place because we see that the society is evolving, technology is evolving. The young people, they are now TikTok users, so everything needs to happen in 30 seconds. So we need to adapt our culture as well. So that's why we created Ericsson on the Move, which is in place for 2 years now. And this has been a journey for the company. We say that Ericsson on the Move is not a project because a project has always a day to start and a day to finish. And the cultural transformation that we want to create in the company is something that we want to last. So I will wait now for the questions with Susana because we thought that this session here would be more interactive if we have questions from you to answer and to share a little bit more about our companies and our careers. Thank you.
So to stand up or sit down? Time for the questions, please.
Okay, then I have a question. Do you have any tips, like if you are a university student and you're just entering the work space and you want to work for a global company like you do? Do you have any tips?
Do you want to start? I can go. I believe that the first thing while I was in the university that I did was to really understand the purpose. I believe that Susana, she had really a great anchor in her presentation, the purpose, to understand the purpose of the company that I wanted to work for. And when you believe the purpose of something, you are kind of more engaged. You believe and you work for that, and you are part of the team. So first thing was to understand the purpose. So the purpose of Ericsson connected with my own purpose. So connect people, help people, as Susana said. And was the first step. And also understand what are the values of this company, because if the values and the purpose doesn't match yours, you're going to be maybe in a conflict with yourself when you were working. So I know, and one of the things that I did before being open for the market was to talk with my colleagues, my university fellows, to understand where are you working and how is the culture in your company, to understand if myself, I would picture myself working in that company. And it's okay to know what you don't want to do. I believe that's the best part. The rest you can learn, you can experience, but understand also what you don't want to do. It's a good thought.
I can share a few tips. I think it's all about attitude. More and more companies are hiring for attitude and not just the technical skills. So in my presentation, I talked a little bit about curiosity, having an open mind to things, committing to things, exploring. So I think these are my tips.
Yes. Engage yourself. The companies present possibilities, and sometimes maybe you need to walk an extra mile. Are you available to do that? Are you negotiating a personal belief, like to go that extra mile? I will not have time with my kids. I will not have time with my family. These are choices. But when you know your own purpose, when you know what you are expecting and you are available to do, it's also a good start.
I have one question.
question related to what you just mentioned, hard skills and soft skills. The competencies that people have that is not technical competence. How the people from HR, together with the managers that are hiring people, how you can, which methodology do you use to really understand what are the soft skills that the people that is applying for the job has? Because behavior, you only prove the way that you behave when you are acting on daily basis. So how you can feel it?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit different from when you are hiring from internal or the external. From my experience, hiring people from external that are already mature professionals is a little bit different than hiring people who are studying, because then you really get to explore together the attitude and the profile of the younger ones that you are bringing from the market. It's trickier to hire from external because we go through an interview process, and I like to say it's like taking a picture of the moment. So in my company, we work with assessments, we work with external agencies helping us with tools to really go deep into their profiles. And of course, what is on the curriculum is very important because it's telling you what the technical skills are. But during the interview of external hires, you really have to, it's a picture, sometimes it's 1 hour, so it's a little bit trickier. That's why companies are more and more promoting from inside, because then you really get to network when you are hiring somebody. You can give a call to all the leaders, to all the peers, to all the other areas where this person has worked, and you really get, it's not a shot, it's not one picture, you can really get a bigger movie of what the person has provided as abilities. And at Atlas Copco, we are talking a lot about unleashing the full potential of people. So we are talking about potential. We're not talking about only the hard skills, only the technical skills. We really want to hire from within, from externally, and look at potentials. So we have the tools appropriate to give us support to look for that potential. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And in terms of young professionals, I believe that the company has an open-minded that sometimes it's the first experience that the student will need. And they are not prepared. It's okay for everyone to make mistakes. And the role of the line manager who will be close to that student is to really guarantee that we are providing the training that is needed, we are providing the feedback that is needed, that we have like a buddy, someone that is already 5 years old, someone that already knows the company and the process, to go there and take the hand and say, hey, don't go that way, maybe this one is better, and giving tips of the day-to-day. So being a student, and I would say for myself, because each year I have 5 students in my group, and we don't go for the CVs. We go for what we see in their eyes. They are motivated. They are motivated to learn. They are curious. And I believe there is also a change in the market related to the academic background, because we are like Ericsson. We do telecommunications, so it's easier to go in engineering schools and hire students. But if you want to bring diversity to the table and get new ideas and get new projects, we also need to have people from different backgrounds working with us. So now in my team, we have one guy that's doing digital games. So what is he's doing? He's doing Ericsson, but he likes to do programming and he's good at it. So he can help us with things that we need to control our costs. So he's kind of matching the two competencies. And we have another girl who is studying, what is it, comércio exterior in English? Foreign trade. And nothing to do with PMO itself, but it's also important to understand the logistics parts. So we are open to that, and for the young professionals, I don't don't believe that your academic background will define who you are and which path you are going to follow in your life. Because the academic background is like, if I can say nowadays, 10, 20%. It will help you to get the feeling of solving problems, which tools you can use, which is statistical analysis sometimes, but you will learn in your day to day. So the idea is to be open for that, be curious, and rely on someone, especially your manager, to provide with feedback and also trainings if needed.
Ask for feedback.
Yeah.
You don't get
Yes,
feedback, right?
ask for
Go after the feedback. Network, talk to people inside the organization, outside. Throw yourself out there. Sometimes when we start our career, we are looking to reach here, but then you're like aspiring and getting other experiences in other companies or other areas, and then one day you look back and you say it made sense. So sometimes we not sometimes, but I think we really should have an open mind.
Yes, and there are people there that are willing to help and to go and show to the new talents of the organization, share with them some of the knowledge that they acquired in the last 15 years. So something that I did all the years that I worked in Ericsson was to find a mentor. And that doesn't really need to be someone that is working in the same area, but someone that you connect, someone with you are going to share your fears, you're going to share maybe, do you think that I took the right decision here? Because the mentor is there, like you're driving, he is in the seat and telling you, hey, there is made a sign to go for the right. Are you sure you're going to the right? And this kind of knowledge and this kind of support for young people, young professionals is really good. And you will only find your mentor if you go out there and you start to networking and join the team, join different activities in the company. This, for me, was something really valuable for my career.
I have a question. Most companies, like you both work for the Swedish companies, your guys are looking for curiosity and proactivity and bring new ideas. But now there's a new trend called quiet quitting, and how you do both things, how in the company, how you deal with the generation, the trend, and how you chase the challenge, the talents.
You wait, I won't go.
It's a very good question, actually. I came from last week. We were in a global seminar for HR, and we were really talking about how HR should be ready for the future. And quiet quitting was one of the hot topics, as well as the war, as well as coming out of a pandemic. Myself, I haven't experienced that yet. I think we were more affected by people getting out of the pandemic and not really adjusting to the new hybrid way of working we have at Atlas Copco. We saw people change countries during the pandemic. So now that Atlas Copco position itself to be a company that values interaction, so we have a hybrid, a half and half, work from home and work from the office policy. We saw more impact on that, the people not being harder to come back to the country, or many people who moved from São Paulo City to the outer states to have a better quality of life during the pandemic. So I think that was harder on us than quiet quitting so far. I don't think we are suffering from that. But yeah, I think we have to keep an eye open for the future, for sure.
Everybody understands quiet quitting. Okay. So in my case, this is a personal statement, and I believe that this new generation, we can have quite quitting experience, but we also have the ones that want to go fast, grow fast in the company, and wants to achieve like in 3 years senior position. Let's share it as an example. So we have both sides, not only quite quitting, as I told TikTok 30 seconds ago, and we will need to learn to work with both. My personal concerns related to that. Quite quitting, I understand as someone that works like what is the established. If you go to 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But what is wrong with that? If the person has the time to value the life outside work, go for yoga, go for meditation, and etc. Take quite quitting in this perspective of doing what is uh, established, let's say. But I believe the companies, we are not prepared for that in the sense of the benefits, remuneration are in the market, not saying only Swedish companies. It's always for the one who walks the extra mile, who goes for more and more and more. But the other person, she is doing what is established, and this is fine. And having people that feel, yesterday I had a call with a team member, and we were almost finishing the day, and we received a last minute request to prepare an analysis. That always happens. And she told me, Isa, there is a thing. I planned myself to exercise one time, once per week, and it is today. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I told him, okay, go for exercise for a beach time class. You need to leave that. It's your right. I will not say to you, no, you're going to stay, you're going to end this analysis today. But this is something that we need to put, I think, in the discussion of mental health in the workplace and the well-being in the workplace. Because quite quitting, if you are doing to protect your mental health, to protect your well-being, there is nothing wrong with that, at least from my point of view. And reflections on how we are going to um, work with these benefits and remuneration to like recognition. Let's change the word to recognition. How we recognize, because the tools that we have nowadays are for the one that works more and more and more. I think that's the challenge.
Yeah. Thank you.
And team building, especially for the new ones starting the company. I mean, nowadays lots of home office. How do you work with team building for the new teams? Concretely,
For the new
new
joiners.
employees coming into new team, new
No, I
projects.
hired people from my team. I think I hired Anna. She was an intern, and we met in person 1 year after I hired her. So that's a good question, Jonas, because I think coming out of the pandemic, people are really missing being together like we are today. We saw that our employees really got too tired of the 100% workload that Teams meetings and Zoom meetings created. And these new joiners are coming, and they have been working for a company that they were hired on a 100% work from home policy, and they were never to the building, they were never there to meet the people. So right now what we are facing is this going back to the office mode, where we really have to find the balance between what's the modern way of working that's not going to be 100% in the office anymore, because we learned from the pandemic that people can work from everywhere, but we still need the connections. So when we're talking about team building, for example, right now in Atlas Copco, we are finishing our year of trainings. It's all remote. It's still online, because this year we were still getting the sense of how things would be But for next year with training, we are already planning how to have everybody together physically, but also the online is very important because we have people all over Brazil. Sometimes they cannot travel. We have people from all over Latin America. So finding the right balance between the hybrid, the 100% there together and the hybrid is what's been our challenge these days. I don't know if I answered your question. Yeah.
Thank you.
In our case, we are now coming back to the office. So we don't have a policy stating how many times per week we need to be at the office. So what we are trying with the team is to really find the opportunities to go and meet at the office. And one of them is always when a new member is joining the team. So what we are trying to do is it's something that we create on our own. Is someone new, let's go to the office, let's take lunch together, let's present ourselves, let's see if we can meet others as well. And this is something that we lost in this 2D of Zoom and Teams. And this kind of connection is good because we have a purpose to go to the office to show the new joiner what's the building, and because that's something that is really particular in the home office. It's the culture of the place is not there in the teams, but when you go to the office and you see it all together and to the I was trying to explain to this new joiner what is the solution of radios and what Ericsson does. When you go to the office, you see the picture of the walls. When you go for the internet, you have to dedicate your time to see videos and etc. Sometimes it's not that dynamic. So in this case, for us, the team building is being let's warm welcome to the new joiners in person. But it's really a challenge because when we say about sustainability, we had, at least in Ericsson, we have a commitment to reduce in 50% the costs we have with travel, and our baseline is 2019. So sometimes we are onboarding people in other cities, in other countries, and we are maybe not going to travel every time. So we need to discover what will be this kind of warm-up and team building in the 2D reality.
Yes,
Yeah, like you're obviously making efforts to get people to connect in the physical realm again after COVID. But I was wondering, like, have you seen like a big shift in the result or anything from going completely digital during COVID and now going back? I bet there's like loads of data on the shift in like, has it made a difference?
In the case, I would talk about this service delivery hack, like the number of things that we are delivering itself. No, we haven't seen any impact for the negative side. We are also delivering more and with more efficiency and opportunities of improvement. But where I see the point of the work from home is the work-life balance, because we, for example, when we go to the office, you cannot have lunch in 15 minutes. You need to go outside, you need to find a restaurant. It will take at least 1 hour. So you go out for an hour and you have your lunch ritual. But when you are at home, you take your lunch, you go in front of the computer. I do it. Sometimes. Yes. Okay, let me listen to this because this is important. And then I was taught like 15 minutes, wash the dishes, and I go back. This is for me, this is not a sense of productive itself. You're not being productive. You're not putting your well-being in first place. So this is the challenge in the work from home, because people, when they go to the office, now they say, I'm being productive today because I'm talking to too many people. You feel like that? Too many people are getting to my table to ask me for things. And I could have replied to 20 mails in that time. But this is necessary to be there. And disconnect is important also. And the thing that is people, when you are available in Teams with your green light showing to the world, they think you are available to talk. No, but you are there working. And when you go to the office, you have also people to meet, people, a coffee to take with someone. And what I feel now that is a challenge is sometimes the people takes that your agenda, you are all the time working from home. So you are taking meetings and meetings and meetings. But sometimes someone will come to your table and ask you something, and will take 15 minutes and wait for the next meeting. So this is something that you feel the sense of I'm not being productive at the office, but maybe at home you are not putting your well-being first. That's my feeling.
If I may add, what I have seen is a shift in mindset of the leaders. Because before the pandemic, at least in my company, we didn't have a work from home policy. And most leaders thought that people would only perform if they were there being watched, if they were there from 8 to 5 every day. Which we know now that with the pandemic, the bright side of this is that we can see that people were able to be productive from home. They gained 2 hours of driving back and forth to work. They get to sleep more, they get to sleep later, they get to exercise,
To be with their kids.
to have lunch. It's a big thing for Brazilians to have lunch at home, right, with their families. So one thing that we saw was the shift in mindset for leaders coming out of the pandemic. For example, we saw in the finance area, we are not able to close the month from anywhere. We need to be there in the office. And after the pandemic, we can do it. We can close the month from anywhere. So that shift is very important because more and more companies are looking for results and not just the time that the person is there. More and more the time is flexible so that you can have your well-being practices, your like a good balance in life between your family and your work.
Yes, if I may add something else, I was in Sweden mid of this year. And one of the things that I really believe is that we are a Swedish company, both Ericsson and Atlas Copco. But the local culture is bigger than the culture of the multinational. And I was in Sweden, it was almost midsummer festival, and I was with a group of Brazilians, and we wanted to order pizza. It was 7 p.m., so for me, a reasonable time. And when we went there, it was closed, and I was like, there's no way that this is closed. I think there is lots of people out there wanting to eat pizza, but then I realized that my culture as Brazilian is that people need to be available all the time, and people that work for us in restaurants and outside our working hours, they need to be there working for us. So if I want to go and eat a pizza, the restaurant will be open. And the Swedish, they are not like this. The people that
was closed.
Was closed. People that
was done for the day was not.
I believe that was summer. So
I don't know. People have pizza for lunch sometimes. That's nobody in the evening.
For me, it was amazing to see that because the people that work there, they have the right to have a life. And us, we don't reflect like that, as you told. Sometimes the manager thought that he needed to see someone in front of him from 8 to 5 to understand that this people is working. But how come? And they have to live a life. They have to find balance. And I believe this part of the Brazilian culture is something that we need to learn with the Swedish culture.
Susana, Isabela, here on the screen now. I think it's time to say goodbye for those who are online watching us or will watch later. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before closing the transmission, again, thank you for sharing, very inspiring, and congrats with your careers, fantastic stories. And for those of you who are here, now we have a raffle. It's a chance to win something. For those of you who are watching, no chance to win. And then we have cocktail and drinks and food. So I'm closing with what I started with. Hope to see you here at the next event at the Chamber in São Paulo. Okay? But thank you for those of you who are here. Now we have the raffle, but say goodbye to those of you who are watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Yes.